So it's been almost a week since the United Kingdom banned travel to and from South Africa after the announcement that our scientists had discovered a highly mutated and quick-spreading new COVID variant. Since the discovery of Omicron, over 20 countries have imposed travel bans on us and other southern African nations, even though there's evidence this variant was present in other regions around the world before it was picked up here. France has since decided to relax its travel ban, but will the United Kingdom follow suit? In Britain, at the moment, infections are almost at their worst levels ever. And I'm joined now by our London correspondent, Olly Barratt. Hello, Olly. So talk to us about the situation in the United Kingdom with these really high number of cases. Is there any chance that these high numbers are being pushed up by the highly transmissible Omicron, as it is here in South Africa?
It doesn't look like it at the moment. I mean, numbers are high. There are around 50,000 cases per day at the moment. But one thing to bear in mind is that the UK is doing over 1 million tests a day, so the positivity rate is really quite low. Omicron is certainly being tracked. We think there have been around 40 or so confirmed cases so far. The authorities here are absolutely clear that there will be more, but it remains to be seen exactly how quickly Omicron may or may not push out the Delta variant, which has been so overwhelming here in the UK. It's also worth saying that under the government's reopening of the economy plan, this kind of case level number, around 50,000, is actually lower than was being expected. Officials were saying that actually if you fully reopened the economy, you'd probably see around 100,000 cases a day. So actually things are going better in the UK than were planned. Another point to make is that cases are remaining at this quite high level. Deaths continue to fall, hospitalisations continue to fall, and so with regards to the Delta outbreak, we are effectively in quite a good place per the government's reopening plan. The uncertainty, of course, comes from Omicron and exactly how it may or may not spread and how quickly in this country. The government at the moment has reintroduced some slightly tougher measures around mask wearing in public transport settings and in shops, in retail, not in hospitality, so not in bars and pubs and restaurants. And so the picture overall at the moment is one of stability, really, but also caution about what's coming next with Omicron, because, as I say, authorities under no illusions that it's not going to start spreading here in a similar way as it has been seen in some other countries, including South Africa.
It is encouraging to see the impact of a strong vaccination program, that the link between infections and hospitalisation and death is just completely broken. There are early hopeful signs that we might be seeing a little bit of that. But of course, as you say, with Omicron, it just puts a spanner in the works of any modelling. What's the picture in Europe? Also a lot of high cases, and I know that their vaccination levels in European countries are not as high as the UK, but are they also experiencing a massive drop in hospitalisations?
It's been a slightly different picture in many parts of continental Europe, and there are various explanations for that, but we've seen really quite explosive growth in case numbers in a lot of European countries in the last few weeks. And that has also led to a rise in hospitalisations and fatalities because, as you quite rightly say, there are a number of European countries who have far fewer people vaccinated than the UK. You think about Austria, you think about Germany, some countries in Eastern Europe too, just not as many people who are vaccinated, so the virus spreading more easily, but also more people that it is possible to affect more severely, and more people unfortunately succumbing to death as well. So for a period of a few weeks now, people have been looking at the UK and the European numbers and wondering quite exactly what the difference is. Possible explanations include the UK reopening earlier than some other European countries, so the exit wave took place earlier here than perhaps it did elsewhere. As I say, higher vaccination rates here than in many other parts of Europe. Crucially, also the booster campaign. The waning that has taken place in the protection of vaccines started earlier in the UK because the UK was first to vaccinate, but that also meant that the UK had its booster campaign rolled out earlier, and the results we're seeing from the booster campaigns here and elsewhere in the world have been really very positive, particularly against the Delta variant, in boosting those levels of protection really sky high. And so with the UK now having boosted 20 million people or thereabouts in total total with a third jab. That extra level of protection seems to be protecting the country heading into the deepest winter months. The UK government continues to talk about humility in the face of this virus and not being sure exactly where things will go next. But there has been a slightly different picture here compared to quite a lot of continental European countries.
We've seen this week that France has reversed its travel ban on South Africa. It's been proven now that Omicron is in fact in many regions. Of course, the numbers are definitely being driven by Omicron here in South Africa, and as you say, in the UK, it's still being driven by Delta. With France relaxing their travel ban and with the incredible flack that the UK has got for doing what they've done, is there any sign that they are reconsidering perhaps relaxing the ban in a week's time to allow that holiday travel to come through?
In a word, no. I mean, I think it's worth saying that the French rules are actually now pretty similar to the UK rules, which are that flights can continue, but UK flights are for UK residents, Irish nationals as well, people coming back here, and then, of course, they do have to go into that period of hotel quarantine. And the French flights that have resumed are for, again, returning French and European Union citizens, rather than trying to reopen holiday destination routes, for example. The UK government is saying that it still intends to review the decision it made with regards to South Africa and those other African nations that went onto the red list after 3 weeks. Well, that would be a little over 2 weeks from now, so really pushing right into that Christmas season. My understanding from the UK government about why it red-listed some of these African countries and hasn't red-listed, for example, the Netherlands, is that the view here from scientists is that the prevalence was higher in southern African countries than in European countries, even if some cases have been discovered here, and that the rates of the virus spreading were higher in those southern African countries, including South Africa, than some of the isolated cases we're seeing in Europe. Now, that view may be correct or incorrect, misguided or not, but that is certainly the basis on which the decision has been made by the UK government, and it doesn't look like they're going to reconsider with regards to South Africa until that 3-week review period. The difficulty with that 3-week review period is we may not yet know enough about the virus, about the new variant, about Omicron and how it's spreading and its impact on hospitalizations and fatalities. So the pessimistic view would be that even in a couple of weeks' time, the UK government keeps South Africa red to buy itself a little bit more time for more data to come in. But that's not to say that's necessarily going to be the case. The UK would like to reopen more travel if, in its view, it's safe to do so.
Thank you so much for that update. That's our London correspondent, Olly Barratt.